Good evening, Padawans and Padawans. It is I, JT the Redneck, and it is Monday night. You know what that means? Yes, my friends. It is the return of two Ewoks in the park, where the Redneck, myself, and the Geek, Mr. Sully, we break down Star Wars shows for you. And right now, we are in Apocalypse. Wow. How about Acolyte? Yeah, Acolyte works. Episode 7. Oh, it's going to be a fun night. So, do me a favor. Grab your favorite adult beverage or whatever it is you want to drink. Something to munch on. Sit back in that beanbag chair, relax, and enjoy the ride. Because as you can tell, it's going to be pretty bumpy. Sully, it's all yours.
The apocalypse. What a way to start the show, folks.
Oh, my God.
You know what? You needed that.
I really did. I really did.
You needed that. That was great. Hello, everybody. I'm Sully, broadcasting live with two Ewoks in the park. Obviously, you've met the redneck JT. And like he said, we're talking about the Acolyte, not Apocalypse. That would be under Avenger Pretenders.
Yes, it would.
But we're talking about episode 7 of the Acolyte, where we're getting ready for the series to be almost over. We've got one more episode left. We're getting there. And this episode, not bad, not great, but not bad. But
a very interesting episode, and we'll go ahead with your butt. I want to hear your butt first.
But it was an entire flashback episode of the Jedi's perspective of what happened in episode 2.
Hi, Carol. Our good friend from Canada has joined us in the chat room. Great to have you along, Carol.
Good to have you.
I will say this. I have been saying since halfway through episode 1.
Yes.
I need to know what happened.
Yes. Because
there's too much. They keep referring back to it, and they keep referring back to what happened and what happened, and I'm Brendock and everything. We had to know. We had to find out at least a little bit more. And they finally gave us that. So,
yes.
Thank you. Thank you for that, because you answered a lot of questions, and not just questions that I had, but even questions that Sully had.
Well, I mean, I didn't have a lot of questions.
But you did have questions.
I had theories, questions, a little bit. I will.
Well, you have like 3,000 theories per show,
and a lot of them come true.
I won't say a lot. I'll say several.
Several. That much you got to say is true. Like, a lot of the theories and a lot of the things that I come up with while watching these, a lot of them come true.
I'll say several. I won't say a lot. I'll say several.
It's crazy how many come true. But at the same time, I'm watching it for the fact that I'm a Star Wars fan. I will always be a Star Wars fan. If there's a Star Wars show, I'm going to watch it. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you think it sucks. I'm going to watch it. Because... yeah,
and we're going to ignore the political crap.
Which we do. At least I think we do, and I think we do very well. But I like how we come in at different perspectives. As a Star Wars fan and as a filmmaker and a film writer, because I'm working on that. I've got scripts galore that I'm working on. I say to myself, how would I do this?
Right.
Would I take the easy way out, or would I do like a little bit of a twist? I prefer the twists, but the subtle twist. The twist that you go, holy shit, for, not the twist that you see coming.
Right.
Which, this episode, I did see a lot of the twists kind of coming. Not bad, but I like what they did and how they did it. Okay?
Yeah. And I hear that everybody's ragging on the acting.
So, okay.
I look at it like this. The things that they're trying to portray are some of the hardest things in the world.
Yes.
To portray.
Yes.
You got some very young actors, some very new actors, and things like that. So, cut them a break, folks. Not everybody's going to be Denzel Washington the first time they're on freaking screen.
True. Very true.
So cut them a break.
Very true. For me, some of the acting is a little meh. Some.
Oh, I agree.
Some is meh. But there's a lot of things, like I said in our last episode, that they're bringing back into canon because of the way Disney did whatever they did, and you're like, okay, why? Why bother? There's so much lore out there. Well, anyway.
Oh, yeah.
This episode is the Jedi side of the story. Because clearly there's two sides to every story. We only saw so much in episode 2.
And we only saw one side.
Yes. Now, obviously, we know what happens. So the good thing is JT and I can actually have more of a discussion about this episode while we break it down. Because in reality, we know the outcome. We saw what happened. However, we didn't see everything that happened. Right. Case in point, when we saw all the witches laying on the ground, we didn't know how that happened.
But what did I say?
Well, we'll get into that because that's later on in the episode. So we'll get into it. So in this case, we see all 4 Jedi. We see Sol, Indara, Torben, and Kelnaka basically testing the planet, because under the New Republic, well, not even the New Republic, under the Republic, the High Republic is what it's called. The High Republic. Under that, under the High Republic, the rule states, for the Jedi anyway, that if a planetary system falls under the High Republic, they have the right to test any child that is Force sensitive.
Tornado watch has been issued for your location.
You got a tornado watch too, huh?
Yeah.
I got a severe thunderstorm watch.
Oh, we got those too.
Oh, and an air quality alert. We're all going to die.
Yeah, I got that too.
So anyway,
yeah.
From this point in time, we know the rules. We know that they have the right to test Force-sensitive children to see if they have high midichlorian count and whatnot. In this case, Brendok, the planet that they're on, is considered to be inhabitable, which is why the 4 Jedi are out there currently testing vegetation to see if it can sustain life. Because they were told that, it doesn't. You can't live there. It's uninhabitable. That's their mission.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, because, something was said about there is a catastrophic happening in hyperspace to this planet.
A hyperspace disaster.
Yeah, that caused it to be uninhabitable 16 years ago.
Also known as what Jedi Soul said, they're looking for a virgins on the planet.
Not a virgin.
Not a virgin. Yep. You're right. Not a virgin. A virgin. So they're testing vegetation. And you can see that Padawan Torben is like, we've been here 6 months. When are we going to leave? right? Was it 6 months or 6 weeks? I think it was 6 months.
7 months.
7 months. Okay.
7 months.
So they're looking for something. And with Torben, he's still a Padawan, so he's still learning. And Indara explains what the Vergence is. And she says a Vergence in the Force is a concentration of Force energy centered around one location. And this is the planet. This is the planet that this happened on. Okay? Now, I don't remember. Do they go into the hyperspace disaster?
No.
I don't think. Oh, yes, they do, actually. So, according to, and I'm just looking at this, the Great Hyperspace Disaster, also known as the Legacy Run Disaster or the Evacuation of Hetzel Prime, was an event that occurred during the High Republic era, 232 before the Battle of Yavin, or BBY. So if
They didn't go into all of that, though.
No, they didn't go into all the details of it, but that's when it took place, 232 years before the Battle of Yavin, where several of the moons in the Trimont system, including Corbital, were destroyed. So that's what they're talking about with the hyperspace disaster. It's along those lines.
I do need to make a correction. It is 7 weeks, not 7 months.
7 weeks? Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for clarifying that they've only been there 7 weeks. But at the same time, Torben's like, I want to go home.
So to him, it felt like 7 months.
Yeah. I want to go home. I'm tired of this. Why do we have to keep testing the plants? Also known as being a little whiny bitch. You know I'm right. You know I'm right.
On the nose, boy. On the nose.
He was being a whiny bitch. He also, a little bit, kind of Kelnaka's cooking, which you don't do. You don't insult a Wookiee.
Yeah.
Ever.
And it just, I'm not hungry.
Yeah.
Meh.
As and the way it happened was he refused to eat what he cooked. And the first thing Indara says, and it reminded me of Han Solo. You don't insult the Wookiee. By not accepting his food, you're insulting him.
Yes.
You're
At least take a couple of bites.
Yeah.
Make the man happy.
Yeah.
So he doesn't kill you in your freaking sleep.
Yes. But Indara even said, listen, I get it. I get it. But we're here on a mission. We have to complete the mission. Makes sense. Makes sense.
It does.
Well, the following day, they're out in the forest. They're doing what they need to do. Kilnaka's exploring the forest area with a scanner. And Torben's dropping samples into an analyzer. Indara is speaking with Soul. And they're basically talking about, do you think Torben is, distracted, maybe?
A little bit.
And they're getting into the Vergence. They're getting into, how it's affecting Torben and the mission and all of that, because he's a Padawan. But she also kind of does a little jab at Soul, a little bit, saying, well, that's why I have a Padawan and you don't.
Right.
Because even though she's teaching him, she's also saying to him, listen, you got to do this on your own too.
Right.
You have to mature. You need to be an adult, which is true. Which is true.
Can't argue.
Because if you don't, then meh.
But then, the old saying comes into effect here that, just because your way, your way of training is not my way of training.
Right.
Everybody trains people differently. Even me when I was in the military, I trained people on stuff differently than somebody else would train people on stuff.
Yeah.
So it's all in the eye of the beholder kind of thing, I guess.
Yes. Now, when it comes down to communication, Kilnaka, obviously, he does the growl that Wookiees do. They actually have a term for that.
Mm-hmm.
And I always butcher it. It's called Shriwook. Shriiwook. That's their language. Okay?
Shriwook.
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 I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing it right.
Shriwook.
Let me see here. Does it give me an actual...
It'll give us the pronunciation.
Yeah, I don't think it does. But that's their language. So you're never going to hear a Wookiee speak English. Ever. I don't know why.
It would be cool as hell if they did, though.
It would
just
be.
One.
It would be pretty interesting. But even in Clone Wars with the young Jedi Wookiee, never spoke English. So, but people understand him, which is good.
Right.
That's the one thing about alien languages in Star Wars. A lot of people throughout the galaxy understand these different languages. Some don't.
Right.
Some do. So that's when they decide to split up, say, okay, Soul, you follow the river. We're going to go this way. Hop on your bikes. Let's go and explore. And they go, okay. So you just did a aha moment. What did you see?
They actually give multiple examples of how to speak Shriwook. Exactly. Like the first one they give is 1. Ow is 2. Ow is 3. And it goes all the way down the list. What's another one here?
Sure.
Find a really big weapon for me. I'll post. I can post the link in the chat if anybody wants to go and take a look at it.
Yeah. Haro.
Yeah.
Haro.
I'll go ahead and post that in there. It's pretty neat, though. Continue, sir. Sorry.
Wow, they've actually got a whole lot of stuff here.
Mm-hmm. They do. We could literally learn Shriwook.
Yeah, we could.
If we really wanted to.
What's after 4, though?
Yeah, they get real interesting after 4. After hello.
Which one's hello? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
I have a bad feeling about this. There's your homework, Carol. Learn some Wookiee for us and then record yourself speaking Wookiee so we can try to figure out what you said.
But that's going to lead us down a rabbit hole right now. So anyway, as they decide to split up, Soul comes upon the Bunta tree, and we see May and Osha using the Force and, doing whatever we saw them do in the second episode. So now we're there. And Carol says, not likely. Anyway.
Hey, I tried.
So now we're at the point where we see them at the Bunta tree. Soul is trying to contact Indara, but nothing's going through right away. But he's also saying, listen, we're not alone. We're not alone here. There are people here. And he follows them. and he follows them to the fortress, just like he did in episode 2. You know, now we're seeing it from his point of view. So,
me personally, from what we could tell in episode 2, was after she took May and Osha away back to the fortress, I couldn't tell if he followed or not.
Yeah.
When, in episode 2, but now we know that he did.
Yeah. Well,
so, that was interesting.
We also see the point of view of Mother Anastasia bringing the girls back to the fortress. So we're seeing things from the distance, which is perfectly fine. But what we also see is that he's starting to see the witches engaging in some type of ritual. That night, Soul's reporting more and more on it, and he says they might be witches. Torben right away says they're Night Sisters, which, even though Indara says, wait a minute, we can't make assumptions.
Yeah, we don't have all the information.
Which is fine. I'm saying they do, and I'm saying they're the Night Sisters. Because the Night Sisters,
we wondered about that.
Because the Night Sisters are the only ones that we know of,
right,
that are a part of the Force on the dark side, and we know they exist.
Right. Well, and Indara tries to knock that theory down about them being Night Sisters by saying that, well, one, that they don't have all the information.
Yes.
And then she adds on that Night Stalkers do not raise younglings or train them.
Right. Right.
But Saul counteracts that with his comment.
Yeah, but at the same time, and this is just something that we know of the Night Sisters, there are different sections of the Night Sisters. But the other thing that you have to realize is their leader is called Mother. Night Sisters. Calling it.
And that's how she's referred to by everybody.
Yes.
When they have the conversation about whether they should let Osha go or not and everything else, that's how they address her. They don't address her as, by any different name.
Now, at the same time, we don't see any indicator, like indicating marks and logos or anything about that of the Night Sisters. But
yeah,
you kind of have to go, yeah, okay.
Yeah, you have to wonder.
Maybe not wrong.
Right.
Maybe not wrong. To me, they're Night Sisters.
Right. I think ultimately they probably are. They may be a way off sect, many times removed from the Night Sisters.
Possibly.
As the actual group, maybe, or something. I mean, there's a lot of things that it could be. My suspicion, even as an outsider, is they probably are Night Sisters or some very close affiliation to the Night Sisters.
Yes. So we're getting there, but I'm calling them Night Sisters. Okay. Now, with that being said, this is where things get a little iffy, because Indara says, please hold, we really should report this because we thought this planet was uninhabited. We need to let the High Council know.
Yeah.
Which I was kind of hoping that they would at least, have some kind of contact with the High Council right now, because I guarantee you one of the people on that is Yoda. because he's only like 600 years old at this point.
As you say, a couple hundred years old.
Because he was almost 900 in Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
There's one interesting comment that Soul made just before this part happens, that when you look at it, to me, kind of changes the way of looking at this group.
Yes.
And that is the fact that he says they do not treat these girls like children.
No, they don't.
They treat them like adults.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's kind of like, I see where he's coming from. She talks about they don't train children, they don't raise children, and all that kind of thing. They're not treating them like children, though.
Right. And he also
small, but they're treating them as adults.
He also mentions that they're prepping them for a ceremony that happens at night, and it's going to be that night. So Soul says, okay, wait, I fear for their safety. Let's go stop that before it happens.
Mm-hmm. Just come see what I saw.
Right. And then let's talk to the High Council and see what they say. So they all go through. They hop on their speeders and they all head back. And Kelnaka decides to take out the elevator controls. He slices right through it. Boom, done. And they get up. They go to where they need to go. Yeah, and Indara says, "Listen, I want to go alone." Torben's gonna go with her, but at the same time, she's like, I don't know.
She doesn't want them to think that this is an attack,
right? And Soul says, "Well, there's over 50 witches in there, and 2 children, so
you need help."
Yeah, let's be vigilant. We're there on a peaceful mission. We're not going to scare anybody or hurt anybody. We're going to be there as keepers of the peace, which is what we stand for. So
and there is a way to do that without presenting yourself as an attacker.
Absolutely.
Which is, they pulled it off, not very well.
Yes.
But they pulled it off.
Yes. They enter the courtyard where the witches are. The bow and arrows are trained on them. They're doing whatever they need to do. And they see everybody up on the steps. And they kind of skip what we've already seen with them talking and, talking to Osha and talking to May. But now we see things from Torben's side. Because remember, in episode 2, she did something and Torben's eyes turned black.
Right.
Now, as they're talking, saying, hey, we thought this was uninhabited. We'd like to know a little bit more about you. What's going on? You're under the High Republic realm. We need to know. We're talking about the girls here. We have every right to try and test them with your permission, of course. Mm-hmm. But that's when the telepathic attack happens.
Oh, instantaneously, almost instantly after they walk in the room.
Oh,
she's in his head.
And Anastasia is messing with his mind, saying, oh, so you want to go back to Coruscant, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Want to go back home? Want to go back home to your little teddy bears? Hmm? And I mean, she's messing with him.
But your Jedi Master won't let you.
Yep.
I will give you everything that you need.
Yep. But she's messing with him.
Big time.
Because, like I said, all he wants to do is go home.
She's playing on his weakness.
Yep.
Right now. And that's why Indara told him, look, you need to stop concentrating on this.
Yeah.
They found a weakness. And she exploited it. Big time.
Well, now the other thing is Anastasia also mentions to him that, oh, by the way, so you're a son of Bonadan? They took you from your home world and you've traveled far. You're trapped.
Yeah, she astounds him with her knowledge of him.
Oh, she does more than that.
Well, to open his mind up a little bit more.
Yeah.
To kind of loosen his, kind of let down his guard a little bit with the information that she's throwing at him.
Yep.
At a rapid pace. Opens him up and makes him weaker and weaker to be able to stop
and give in.
Her. Yeah.
He gives in to his desires, which is exactly what she wanted.
Yeah.
Because she wanted to be like, gotcha. And that's when his eyes
all you have to do is ask.
Yeah. That's when his eyes turn black and he falls down to his knees.
Well, she tells him to kneel.
well, yeah, she tells him, but again, we saw it in episode 2 that he falls to his knees.
Yep.
Okay. So,
yeah.
That's where we're seeing the differences between the two, and now we're seeing it from the Jedi side of, okay, she told him to kneel, and basically what happened was he just went, shit, okay, you got it.
It's
boom.
It's interesting to see it from both sides of the lens.
Yeah.
To see it from the Jedi side of what was going on and to see it on the Mother Anastasia witch's side of what was going on.
Yep.
Because I didn't think anything like this.
Yeah.
When it happened to him in episode 2, I just thought maybe she put some kind of little freaking curse on him.
Right. But now
little did I know, she was in his head. Big time.
Oh, yeah. Big time. Big time. And that brings us to what happened in between. In between, obviously they were able to leave. The witches were watching them very, very closely, so they didn't screw anything up or do anything. But, they agreed for the twins to be tested. And now with them back on the ship, Indara is giving kudos to Soul, like, hey, good job on the testing thing. That's a good way to do it. I didn't think of that. Good job. And that's when he says that he's got a connection with Osha. He can feel a special connection. And Indara does exactly what a Jedi would do. Like, hold it. Careful of that. Because you don't want that.
Right. You're not. According to her, he's not ready for that.
Right. But at the same time, even though she's got her own Padawan and he doesn't, he's still a Jedi Knight.
Yes.
Is he a master? No, not until he gets a Padawan.
Right.
But anything's possible.
Well, I think that's the statement that really makes Indara go, oh, wait a minute.
Hold it, freeze, stop the bus.
Pump the brakes here a little bit, full stop, pop the parachute, the whole freaking 9 yards.
Yep.
Because he says, I feel that she is to be my Padawan.
Yes.
And Indara's like, well, hang on a minute now.
Like, hold your horses, sir.
Possum pie ain't ready yet. It'll be ready at the same time the moonshine's done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then we're going to get ourselves into General Lee and we're going to go deliver that moonshine, okay?
And we ain't going to let Big Boss Hog catch us either.
Nope.
His Cooter's going to stop him.
So clearly, we already see now that Indara's very hesitant to test the twins even more, okay? But when it comes down to it, we already know that the twins were instructed to lie and fail. which in my opinion, that was smart of the witches, but you're not going to fool a Jedi, you know? You're not gonna...
Especially when May tells him what's on the screen before the picture even comes up.
Yep. Which is how they knew they were instructed to lie.
And you say, oopsie.
Oopsie. But now we see more of the conversation between Soul and Osha.
Yeah. Because he asks, after May leaves, he asks Andara, he says, I would like to approach this differently.
Yes.
And she agrees.
Yeah, she did. She did. But they did also go into detail on the mark from the ceremony on May.
Yeah. That was an interesting conversation. She revealed a lot of information with that.
Yeah. Very honest about it. We know where she lies. Okay. And Indara even said, did you like it? And she agreed. Yeah, I did. And that's when she goes, well, that mark is very beautiful. It means the ascension for May was very powerful for her. It meant something.
Yep.
And she acknowledged it. She didn't hide it. She didn't say to May, like, I didn't agree with that ascension ceremony. It was a part of their culture, and she was all for it.
Yeah, she acknowledges that.
Yeah. And
she also thanks her for explaining it to her.
So they understood it a little bit better. And, that's when she also said, well, what was the reasoning for it? And when they went into the details of Osha and May were going to lead the coven, hence why I'm also saying it's still the Night Sisters. Just saying, putting it out there. Yeah. That it was to follow in her mother's footsteps. And when Indara says, so you're meant to lead? And she goes, I don't know. Shrugs.
And she says, Mother says,
yep,
that everyone must walk through fear and that everyone must be sacrificed to fulfill their destiny. When she said sacrifice, they switched back over to Saul and Dara.
Yes.
And you see both of them react to that word.
Sacrifice.
Not that phrase, just that word.
Yep. Because
like, whoa.
Because for them, and listen, this is a double-edged sword, okay? For those witches, yes, they're supposed to sacrifice their lives to the coven. Not, hey, we're going to kill you.
Yeah.
We want you to be a part of the coven. You're going to lead it one day as the mother, Mother May or Mother Osha, and be in charge of that coven, which is fine. Because if you think about it,
right,
children, when they're tested as force sensitive, they're sacrificing their families to become a Jedi.
Right.
You walk away.
It does say in here that it says misunderstanding her mother's words. May said that.
Yes.
But with somebody with a child's mind, which, yes, they may treat them like adults, but they still have a child's mind, they take what they hear literally.
Yep.
And just like any kid today, they take what you tell them literally.
Sure.
I'm going to kill you. Oh, don't do that. That kind of thing. So it's understandable May having this misunderstanding. And I think Osha understands a little bit more what Mother Anastasia, thank you. Where the hell did I come up with Andara?
Because she's the Jedi Master. You swapped them. Mother
that's dyslexia.
Anasea and Master Indara.
Yeah. But, I think she understands a little bit more what mother means by those words.
Yes.
Whereas May, seems to be a little more childish in her words and her actions than Osha does.
Right, which is why she said that she didn't know, and she shrugged. And at the same time, we're seeing the conversations and the testing of Osha, and how Soul is like, whoa, hold it. We know you were told to fail the test.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you just do what you want to do?
Yeah.
Just be the truth, be yourself. Speak the truth. He coached her, which is fine, but Indara even said to him, listen, the only reason why she took the test was because you coached her to do it. So now we're seeing Indara's side of things of, I don't know.
Yeah.
But once
she was questioning things from the beginning.
Which one?
I said she was questioning things from the beginning with him.
Yes.
And Osha.
Yes.
But
again, he felt the connection in the Force to her. So what does the council say? And at this point in time, Indara tells Torben, listen, test the blood samples. I want to know what their M count is. All right. Do that. And then, go back out and do what you need to do while those tests are running. And I'm going to get in touch with the council. I'm going to talk to the council. I'm going to do what I need to do. And that's when we find out later on that the council has not sanctioned bringing the twins to Coruscant. They're too old.
Stay out of it. Leave them alone.
Too old. Leave them alone. We don't want to separate them from their coven. It is what it is. And even Torben stated his own opinion that the witches are dangerous. One, because he got telepathically taken over.
Yeah.
And two, he's now scarred because as a Jedi Padawan, he feels he let his master down. Which even she's like, listen, that's not the case.
Which does come back into play.
Right, it does. It does.
Big time.
Then he said, well, are we going to be able to go home? She said, no, not yet.
Right.
Not yet. So Torben goes off on his own and he's being a cranky brat. And that's when Soul says, listen, I'll talk to the council.
Ew.
And she's like, nope, you've done enough. You're done.
They made their decision.
Walk away. Walk away. And that's when he protests that, Osha passed the test, which is true. She did. She passed the test.
Mm-hmm.
But, well, that's because you coached her. So,
well,
yeah.
She didn't pass the test because he coached her. She passed the test because he got her to be honest with the test and not to lie about the test.
Right. But it's still coaching.
It's a tricky way of saying it.
Yeah.
It's, semantics, I guess you could say. But.
Sure. Now, at the same time, the test results come in from the blood work and their M count is through the roof. As the exact words were unusually high. Well, the last time we saw something unusually high, Anakin was around.
Yeah.
Just saying. Anakin was around.
What series was that?
And, of course, you have the Bad Batch.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's going on here,
Yeah.
But
and he notices something even stranger.
Yes. So here's the thing. The high M count makes them very force sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
But he also says that the girls are not twins. because they have the same symbiont.
Ambient.
Now, if that's the case, Soul and Indara are like, whoa, hold everything.
Yeah, well, and I was like, well, they're twins. Of course, it's gonna be the same.
Right.
But
But and finish that. Why no?
Because even as twins, there's differences.
Mm-hmm.
There's slight differences in your symbiont or your DNA makeup.
Yep. Which is true.
One twin has green eyes, one twin has blue eyes.
Right.
One gets, has a bigger body build. One has a slimmer body build.
But in this case, the M count was identical.
Mm-hmm. As was a symbiote.
Which means the girls weren't naturally created. They're artificial.
Here comes that magic word again.
Dun, dun, dun.
Which word is that?
Which one?
The virgins.
The virgins. Yes. And as Soul put it, only the virgins can create that kind of power. And that's when he says, they're in danger. We need to save them.
Well, and he also says, this is our ticket home.
Yep.
They are our proof.
Yep.
Of the virgins.
They're the proof that we need. They're the proof that the virgins happened. They're the proof that these two girls are not natural. They're artificially created. And oh, by the way, they're very powerful in the Force.
It takes the fuck off.
But he also gets Torben involved too. Even though he told Torben, no, stay here. I got to go get them. So while that's happening, Indara's like, okay. But,
yeah, by that time, Torben's gone.
Yeah. So they all leave, and Kalnaka follows in the ship. I'll follow. It'll be great.
Well, Saul takes the speeder, and Indara and Kalnaka
take the ship. Yep.
Yeah.
And Torben,
she's yelling at Saul to catch him, get him, stop him.
Yep. Gotta stop him. We gotta stop this.
We'll follow in the ship.
And this is when all hell breaks loose. Which we already know about.
You thought we had a lot of flashbacks and back and forth last episode?
This one
gets frantic from this point on.
Yeah. Because at this point in time, now again, we've already seen what happens. We see the side of Osha and May starting the fire, but what we don't see is what happened after she started the fire. We don't see May freaking out trying to stop the fire from spreading, which she did, clearly, because we saw it in this episode. All right. We also see the conversation of, hey, okay, you guys go to your room, do whatever. So we see that fight. But
you see May lose her brain, lose her cool, and Mother Anastasia say, hey, you know what? Go with Mother what's her name and go for a walk.
Right. But we also see Coral, if you want to say that. I'm pretty sure it's Coril, maybe. Attempts to strike May with her staff, but May uses the Force to deflect her attack, and she's like, good. Give in to your anger. Use it.
Get mad.
Get mad. Well, that's where we see Rain, who's one of the witches, and Erus. Am I saying it right? Erus, maybe?
I'd say Erus.
Erus. They're both witches. clearly. They're part of the coven. And they are at the point of, listen, you shouldn't let Osha join the Jedi. That could be bad. Now, mind you, she didn't go through the Ascension, so she's technically not a coven witch. Just putting it out there.
Mm-hmm.
But Anastasia says, we really need to respect her wishes. If she wants to go, she is more than welcome to go. If she wants to stay, she can stay. Whatever she decides, that's the wish that we should back up.
Good honor.
Rain, on the other hand, is like, you're going to fucking all up. Shame on you. You're sacrificing their future. How could you do this? They're your... And Anastasia goes, no, they're my children. Little possessive, not going to lie.
Yeah. Well, it's a good argument because, you may be a mother, but you are also our leader.
Yes.
And it's an understandable argument from the other coven witches.
Yep.
And these two children are supposed to be the coven's future.
Yep.
And everything. So I can understand where they're coming from, what they don't want to lose half of their future.
Yep.
And everything. But I really like what Anastasia said next.
Yes. Which was?
She simply says, I choose to be a mother.
First. You can't forget first.
Mother first.
That was important.
I choose to be a mother first.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, I choose to be a mother first.
Yeah.
So, and it's not what you would expect from the leader of a coven.
Yep. Now, here's the other thing. Okay, while that's happening, May and Coril are doing their thing, and May smashes the elevator controls. No one can get in. Mwahaha. But nobody can get out.
No one can get out.
Either.
Yep.
But
it's a good thought. It's a
very good thought.
It's a smart move.
Very good
on her
thought.
part.
And Coral tells the other witches to prepare themselves for battle. The Jedi are going to raid. They're going to take over. They're going to do whatever they need to do.
No.
Sol and Torben get to the castle, and since they can't go up the elevator, they're like, let's climb it. We got to climb. Which was cool, by the way, that they climbed up it again. But at the same time, Sol is trying to find May and Osha. So he's using the Force to kind of see what's what. And that's when he sees May tell Osha that she cannot leave the fortress. They're stuck here.
Yep.
Stuck here. So as they go up the wall, they're, doing whatever they need to do.
What did Saul say to Torben before they started climbing the wall, though?
Oh, hold on. I remember this. I mean, it's been a few days since I've watched it.
Basically, what happened before can't happen now.
Right.
Can't let them. You have to control your mind.
Yep. Control your mind. Focus. Be vigilant. Block them out. Be stronger than you ever needed to be. Which is true.
This is an important point.
Very important.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very important. Well, since Indara and Kalnaka are in the ship, they approach the fortress. They're like, hey, in the name of the High Republic, knock your shit off. But they can't land.
It would have been neat if they'd have done that.
Yeah, but they can't land. So Indara tells Kanaka, you need to get out of the ship and get down there.
Yeah.
Need to get down there.
Can you make the jump?
Yeah. Yeah, can you make the jump?
Come on. He's a freaking Wookiee Jedi.
He's a Wookiee.
I combined the two. He's a Wookiee. A Wookiee Jedi. A Wookiee.
Sure.
I like that. I like that. I did that on purpose.
You did. Sure you did. Anastasia is telling Coral, no violence. We don't want any fighting. Knock this shit off. We don't want it. We don't want to let the Jedi take the children either. So that's where Coral's like, no. Can't let them. They are my responsibility. I will fight to the death to keep them here.
Two mothers of a different mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Then we see the journal catching fire and all hell breaking loose. The fire spreading, May calling for help, doing what she needs to do. And at the same time, Torben and Sol reach the plateau at the top of the castle where they were holding the ascension. And Anastasia and Coral are there with multiple witches on the catwalk. And Anastasia is like, how dare you? How dare you show up to my house uninvited? And Sol tries to do the political thing. Well, wait a minute. We're not here to fight you. We're here to help.
Noble intentions.
Yes.
Noble intentions is the words he used.
Noble intentions. And that's when Anastasia says, well, if you come to ask permission for the twins to be taken and raised by the Jedi, and he says, no. How were they created?
Yeah.
He didn't even bat an eye. No. How were they created? What happened?
Yeah. Did you see Coral's reaction to that question?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
Crap!
Eyes down and away.
He knows. He knows the secret. But the archers, on the other hand, they're like, yeah, screw you. Screw you. But Anastasia says that the Jedi's noble intentions could lead to the destruction of their order. So we're already seeing some fortune telling, if you will. Because think about it. What's the noble intention that destroyed the Jedi Order? A little bit of a war that went on. Just saying.
Just a little tiny one.
Yeah. Torben, on the other hand, reaches for his lightsaber, and Sol's like, whoa, hold it, buddy. Chill out, dude.
Right.
We're not here for that. Coral, it's like, fuck you. I'm going to attack. Going to attack because I can, and you're not going to take the kids. May screams for help.
Right.
Sol is like, Osha, come here. Doesn't see the little freaking tattoo on her head.
Right. And then it goes into slow motion.
Yeah.
This was really, really cool.
Yeah. So,
in my opinion, this is one of the best scenes of the entire series.
now Coral is about to attack with her spear.
Right.
Torben's feeling threatened.
Down.
Ignites his lightsaber.
Mm-hmm. Goes into a defensive stance.
Yep. But Anastasia starts using her powers to become like this black smoke type thing.
And not just her.
May as well.
Yeah, because Saul spots it coming off of May's arm.
Yes.
As it starts to hit her.
Yes.
I did not expect what happens here. I did not expect this.
Now, even though you didn't expect this, I kind of did, but I didn't know to the full length of how it was going to happen. Okay.
Exactly.
Because Soul now thinks he's under attack. Now, if we've learned anything from this series, a Jedi does not attack an unarmed person. However, these are witches. These are force-sensitive people, which means anything around them, including themselves, can be a weapon.
Can be. Yeah.
So, as the smoke starts to come around, he ignites his lightsaber and stabs Anastasia, or what was it? He slices first, right? He swings the lightsaber first, or does I can't remember if he just directly stabbed her or not.
Comes out like this, ignites, turns,
and just stabs.
Stabs straight in.
Right.
Yep. Stabs straight in.
Which then makes her turn back into physical form, and you can see the lightsaber right through her chest. Yeah.
Yep. Right through the center of her chest.
May starts crying because, you know, her mother was just killed. Mother. And Anastasia tells Soul she was going to allow Osha to join you. I was going to honor my daughter's wishes.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
And Saul's... I think Saul is kind of in a little bit of a state of shock to start with.
Yes.
From the look on his face from stabbing her.
Yes.
You know, so he's kind of already partially out of himself.
Yes.
You know, and everything. So you had to see the expression on his face and the terror in his eyes.
Yep.
In that moment.
I think it made it worse that he realized that Osha wasn't Osha, it was May because of the mark on her forehead. Because he's also like, shit.
Yeah, because he looked down at May, or who he thought was Osha, turns out to be May, because she looked up at him and he saw the tattoos. She looked back up at the mother. Yeah.
Now,
so we know Anastasia is dead.
Yep, we know Anastasia is dead. Now, the archers are starting to shoot the arrows, so Torben's fending them off. Coral starts attacking Soul with her staff, so now they're fighting. They're going, pretty much blow for blow. Soul is now
he was defending himself. He was not fighting back.
Yes, and that's probably because of the guilt. Because you could see there was guilt on his face. Like, shit, I just killed an innocent person. But
this is not what I meant to have happen.
Right. But at the same time, if you think about it, he felt like he was under attack.
Mm-hmm.
He did. That was a defense mechanism. Okay.
I would have reacted the exact same way.
Now, May, on the other hand, is running around. Explosions are happening left and right because of the fire that she caused. That's now going up through all the wires and all the electrical and just blowing things up.
Yep.
Osha is in the middle of escaping her, her room. Explosions are going, archers are disappearing, and we hear Coral using her powers to taunt. Because she also says, and I quote, "You shouldn't have brought him here."
Yeah.
Now, when that happened, before he even said anything, did you think that Torben was going to get possessed again?
I knew he was going to fight it better than he did before because he knew what to expect. And like he says here,
yes,
not me, I have hardened my head.
Yep. And then
So,
the reply back.
Oh, I got chills.
Yeah.
I got chills when she said this.
Especially when she said, not you, him.
Him.
And we see
like, him.
Kalnaka in the shadows light his
Now,
lights.
if you're like me, you forgot about Kalnaka.
Yeah, I did. I did.
We both forgot that Kalnaka is there because he jumped off the ship.
Right, but he also was going to jump. He jumped off the ship in the courtyard, not at the top of the tower where the ascension was.
Mm-hmm.
But now we see Kalnaka's lightsaber turn on, and we see him walk out, and his eyes are as black as night. And the look on Soul and Torben's faces was, oh shit.
I was gonna say, oh fuck, because this is beyond an oh shit moment. Because I mean, this is a Force trained Jedi
who's also a
Wookiee.
And
a Wookiee on his own is bad enough.
Yeah.
But then you take a Force-trained Wookiee who can go like this and pull you to him from across the room into your freaking Wookiee chokehold.
Not even that.
I'm just saying, he could.
Wookiees can rip your arms off.
Yeah. I mean, you, just like they've said, we've heard many, many times, don't fuck with a Wookiee.
Yeah. And let me tell you.
Don't mess with a Wookiee.
Now, the good thing is there was 2 against 1. The bad thing is he messed up Torben big time.
Well, yeah, the good thing is it was 2 against 1, but the bad thing was it was 2 against 1.
Yeah. His face was so bloody.
Oh man, he got messed up.
He got messed up by Kalnaka's claws and everything. And I mean,
he almost got killed.
He picked them up and threw them. He didn't even use the Force to push them away that much. He literally grabbed and threw.
He pulled Torben into his hand.
Yep.
And then he lifted him up and slammed him on the wall. And how Torben had the sense of mind to turn on his saber and block what would have been a death blow.
Oh, yeah.
From Kalnaka.
Yep.
It's simply amazing. Want to say hi to Viking who just came in and said, droids don't pull people's arms out of their sockets when they lose. Wookiees are known for that.
It's true. It's true. We've seen it in...
What's that a reference to?
We've seen it in the book of Boba Fett. But this scene right here was like the turning point of the episode.
This whole thing, this whole little bit here.
Yeah.
The last 15 minutes of the show.
And I mean, he messed the 2 of them up. He really did. He messed the 2 of them up. And Soul knows that he's being possessed. He's trying to, fight him off, or at least keep him engaged enough.
He's trying to break the trance. He's grabbing his arm, he's pulling, screaming his name, and like it's a witch's trance, man. You're not going to be able to break it that way.
Yeah, and that's when Indara comes in and saves the day.
Yeah. Question 1: where the hell did she land?
That's what I want to know. Where did she land?
And question 2: where the hell did she come from?
Well, she might have landed.
She literally came out of nowhere.
Yeah, she might have landed outside of the fortress. Might have. I don't think they actually showed that.
No, they didn't. They didn't show where she landed at all. The last time they showed her was when she was telling Kalnaka, or asked Kalnaka if she could make the jump from the ship to the fortress.
So from this point, Indara breaks the trance, and we see all the witches that have been controlling Kelnaga. It took how many? Like
The entire coven.
15 to 20 witches, right?
Pretty much the entire coven.
There were a lot of them going back and forth, doing their spell, back and forth. That was a lot of witches in order to control that one Wookiee.
Brewer says, I think she landed on the plot zone and came from Plotland.
Out of the air. She was one with the Force.
Nice.
Just saying.
She teleported. Oh, wait, that's Star Trek.
That's Star Trek. She could have done superhero landing.
Right?
She could have used the Force to do superhero landing. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
It's rough on your knees, but, you know, it happens. Anyway. As she's tending to Kelnaka, maybe she vented.
No, but she definitely had to have a venti latte before she took on Kelnaka.
There you go. It's true. Well, she tells Soul, go after the twins. Get them.
Get the kids.
Get them, save them, do what you got to do. And Soul runs off. And then we see the interaction between Soul and May and trying to save both of them at the same time and May falling. So we've seen that already. And we see him pulling Osha up. Afterward, we're on the Jedi starship because now we're all caught up. We really are.
Right.
We're all caught up. We've seen it before.
Yeah. The thing that we didn't know was when the exchange was going back after the explosion where it blew the section out of the gangplank.
Yep.
You had Osha on one side, May on the other side. And going back between the two of them, we did not know that it was Soul that was holding them up.
Yes.
He was holding those gangplanks up. And they kept going back and forth. And he had to make a choice.
But did he?
Yeah.
No, I don't think he did.
He wasn't strong enough to hold both of those up.
But he could have held
he was them
up. That's see, right there.
I don't know.
Think about it. What would have been easier to hold in the air using the Force? The two planks or the two little girls?
Yeah, I'm still iffy on that. I thought about the same thing.
Plot hole.
But I wouldn't think of that. In a fight or flight situation, you're not going to think of that.
Yeah. Viking Brewer, he could have yelled,
Yeah.
"Hey, move!"
Yeah, I mean, why didn't you tell one of the girls to move back or both of the girls to move back? You know, those kind of things. But the one thing you don't think of is grab both the girls with the Force.
Yeah.
You know, so he's holding and he feels in his head he needs to make a choice of who's he going to save.
Right.
And obviously, the choice he's going to make is the person that he thinks is supposed to be his Padawan.
Yeah.
So he makes the choice. He lets May fall. He watches May fall.
Yep.
While he's still trying to hold Osha. Well, obviously, he's distracted, so his Force link breaks. Other platform falls. He saves Osha.
She became Alice in Alice in Wonderland.
Gotcha.
She just went, wee.
So that whole set of circumstances, though, that last 15 minutes of the show up to this point, it was crazy.
Yeah, brain fart there.
Well, I was trying to think of how to say it.
Yeah.
Because there were so many things that happened in there that after episode 2, I'm like, we need more information. We need to know what the hell happened. Because why was Torben in a 16-year trance? Basically.
Well, that's a different story.
Well, but this incident is what caused that.
Yes, absolutely.
Why was Kelnaka Why did he separate himself from everybody and live on his crashed ship on Brendok?
Well, that's a whole that's him being in hiding / isolation. So,
but it led to that.
Yeah, this whole thing, and it was more the fact that Kilnaka probably felt that he failed, which is why he went to where he needed to go.
Right, and as we'll see, you look at how he's reacting on the ship right after all of this happened. You could tell it had a major effect on him. It would on me. It did on Torben when Torben's mind was taken over.
Yep.
It had an effect on him too, and it's just, it's interesting to see just what it was that led these people, these 4 individuals, to where they are now, to this point. It's very, very interesting to see this, and that I do think that every bit of this was information that we needed to know.
Yes, absolutely. It answered a lot of questions. It did. Questions we kind of knew the answer to, but, we needed that confirmation. Okay?
Right.
And at the same time, Kilnaka's pacing back and forth. You could tell he's like, oh, shit, I hope everybody's okay. I didn't mean to freaking murder you guys. Osha's on a respirator, so she's having trouble breathing at the moment because of the smoke and fire inhalation. Torben is scarred to death because, he almost got his ass handed to him and ripped apart by a Wookiee. And Kilnaka's,
it looks like Mike Tyson beat the crap out of him.
Yeah, Kilnaka's like, I'm sorry, little buddy. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Gilligan.
So Indara tells Kilnaka, listen, go contact Coruscant, tell them what's going on, tell them what happened. We're on,
tell them we're coming home.
We're coming home. We're doing what we need to. And then she turns to Torben and she's like, I told you not to interfere. I warned you not to interfere.
And then she goes, I told both of you.
She was doing the pointing the finger lecture.
I told you so.
But Sol said all he wanted to do was make sure the twins were safe. And he tries to leave while they're talking. And she's like, whoa. Pump the brakes, dude. Pump the brakes. Because this is unreal. Okay? And they start to kind of, do almost like a brother-sister bitch slap fight thing going on. And Torben's like, just stop. Everybody stop. And as they're staring at each other, Torben says, what are we going to tell the council? What are we going to tell them about this situation? We need to know. And Indara says, well, we're going to tell them the truth. May burned down the witch's fortress, which she did. The explosions caused the death of everybody inside, which JT and I are on the fence about. And then Sol says, listen, I'm going to face the council. I'm going to face the council about this. And she's like, no, you're not.
Why would you do that? I love her argument. Why would you do that to her?
Yeah.
After all this kid is lost because of you.
Yes, because of you. You're the one who screwed it all up for everybody.
Why would you take away the one thing that she has left?
Yes.
Because, like Mother NSA has said, she chose you.
Yes. She chose you. Now, Brewer just said, why did everyone basically leave the order except the one guy who caused all the issues? They didn't.
No, they were all still part of the Jedi Order.
They were all still part of the Jedi Order. They were on different planets for different missions. One was in charge of a temple, who was in a 16-year trance because of the whole ordeal. And that was it. An impenetrable force field. Soul was doing his thing because he trained Osha, and Dara was doing her thing when she got killed. And Kilnaka was in isolation on a planet, which was his mission, supposedly.
Mhm.
And that was that. And that was that. In this case, at the end of the episode, we go back to the end of episode 2, where Osha wakes up like, hey, where am I? What's going on? Why? Where's everybody? Where's my mom? I want my mom. And as she's asking where she is, Soul says, well, we're on the ship. We're going to Coruscant. And by the way, May started the fire. And that was it. That was the end of the episode right there.
Yeah.
End of the episode.
Yeah. May started a fire and then kind of turns and looks towards Endara, and it's like, think about it.
I mean, not wrong. She did start the fire.
Mm-hmm.
We
not
did
lying
start the fire.
About that.
It was always burning since the world's been turning. They didn't start the fire.
Okay, West End boys.
I'm just saying. Osha didn't start the fire. It was an oil lamp that May threw down to the ground.
Actually, she dropped it. She didn't throw it down. She dropped it.
True. But she did burn the book, which did not help much at all. So,
right. Yeah, she set the book on fire. I was sitting here shaking the book, trying to put the fire out, which was giving it more air.
Yeah.
And she's holding the oil lamp in her hand at the same time. And
Brewer, my brain just started singing, we don't need no water, let the mother effer burn. The roof is on fire. Anyway, since this was the end of episode 7, is it my turn? Do I do the rating first, or is it you? I forget.
No, you're on the even episode.
I'm
sir.
on even. That's right.
Yes. Next one you'll be on, which will be Avenger Pretenders. You will be.
Yes.
Odd numbers.
So, how many lightsabers do you give this one?
Great episode. I loved this episode. Well, I should say the last 15 minutes of this episode are my favorite moments of the entire episode to this point.
Okay.
Great episode. Loved. And like we talked about in the beginning, yeah, the acting wasn't the best.
No.
But it was still pretty freaking good. Answered a shitload of questions and told us all exactly what happened. Why they've been torturing themselves for 16 years. Why Saul sat there and looked at May as she's locked down on the recovery bed. We're going to talk and you're going to listen.
Yes, which in this case, I have a feeling that's exactly what this episode was him telling the story.
Or part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where we're going to start the next episode off, is with his little conversation with May.
Right.
I'm at 4.5 stars, man. I love the episode. I love the movement. I love the excitement. And in this case, I love the switches. They didn't do it the entire episode like they did last episode. They only did it for a small segment.
Right.
And it was needed. So I'm at 4.5.
Nice. All right. Well, I am at a 4.25. Almost the half. I'm not going to lie. The fight with Kilnaka is what got it to the 4.25. Okay.
You mean Kilnaka beating everybody's ass?
Kilnaka kicking the shit out of everybody.
Yeah, there wasn't no fight with Kilnaka. It was Kilnaka just kicking them.
Yeah, Kilnaka kicking the shit out of everybody. That right there bumped it up. Okay.
Yeah, I can see why.
I loved seeing the missing pieces. Now, with that being said, I think episode 2 and episode 7 could have fit perfectly together.
They could have.
if they had done it together, I probably would have been at a 4 3/4.
Okay.
Almost a 5 on this one. Because I even said, it was cool seeing both points of view. So I understand why they split them up. I do. I understand why.
Yeah. I think we needed to have other stuff explained in the middle before they explained,
Yeah, because like I said, I have a feeling that this last episode, which will be coming out tomorrow, is going to start with that's the end of the story. Hey, by the way, you know what happened with the rest. May became a Jedi, or she started training to be a Jedi, blah, 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 blah. That is our point of view. That is what happened. And oh, by the way, your mother was accidentally killed by me because I felt threatened. That's why. So I think it's going to come full circle. I do. I really do. But I just can't give it the 4.5 yet. I just can't. There's something missing.
I understand. I mean, if we didn't know, I think maybe if we didn't know where Indara landed, maybe that would have pushed it up. Like a little explanation of where the hell she came from.
Yeah, maybe. That might have helped a little bit. Might have. Yeah. I'd have to reevaluate it if they actually show that. But I know they're not going to because there's only one episode left. Well, that, my friends, and again, this was a little bit of a longer episode, or at least it felt a little longer.
44 minutes.
Okay, so yeah, it was longer than the
last
other
week's
past episodes, because each one I think was anywhere between 35 and 40 minutes. So this one was a little bit longer. This week's episode, I have no idea how long it's going to be.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because even if I do my little research on it, episode, it doesn't give me anything pertaining to 8. So we'll see what happens. But we will be back live next Monday for episode 8 of The Acolyte. And join us tomorrow for the Sully Show at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on Accidental Punch TV. We've got an interesting prep sheet ready to go. I think I have to change some things, but we'll see, because Lady Death, JT, and myself all have articles that were either given to us or we found, and they're good, and we want to talk about them. So it'll be interesting, to say the least.
We could have very easily done a double dumbass this week.
Yeah, most likely. For the Redneck JT, there he is. Can't miss him. He's a good guy.
Bye, everybody.
He's my Viking Brew saying 43 minutes for episode 8. It's a possibility. It's a possibility.
Guess we'll find out.
This one was 44, so we'll go from there.
Mm-hmm.
But for the Redneck, I am the Geek Sully. We will see you all next week for 2 Ewoks in the Park, where we're going over episode 8 of The Acolyte. And we will see you tomorrow for the Sully Show, right here on Accidental Punch TV at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a great night, everybody. Be safe, and may the Force be with you. Yeah.